I'm going to give you the exact steps that I use for my clients to help them generate multiple bids on their property and get the maximum price possible when it comes time to sell. This information is extremely valuable if you're considering selling your home or you just want to understand how the real estate market works a little better. My name is Jeff Thibodeau. I'm an experienced real estate broker here in my hometown of Brantford, Ontario, where I've been helping people just like you make smart real estate decisions for over 15 years. Every week, people just like you reach out to me by phone, email, or in the comments here on YouTube to get more information about how to maximize the value of their home. About a month ago, my client Robert reached out to me after watching one of these videos and had received a lowball offer on his property. And we were able to put a strategy together for his home where we put it on the market, and in just 5 days, we were able to generate 12 different offers on the property, and we got him $70,000 over the asking price. Now in this video, I'm gonna share you the steps we use to generate those results for Robert, but also for many other clients over my career. Now make sure you watch the whole video and take some good notes, because none of the steps I'm gonna show you work by themselves. It's like a good recipe. You're gonna need all the ingredients and to put them together in the right order. Now real quick, before we get into it, thank you for being here. And if you're getting any value from these videos, please take 2 seconds and just click that like button. It really does help me out. And if you like videos like this, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications bell. That way, as I upload future videos, which I do every single week, you're gonna get those videos right in your home screen. Let's talk about a few of the real estate terms we're gonna need to understand to fully grasp this concept. Let's talk about market value. Market value is the fair price for an asset in an open and transparent market. The real estate market generally is an open and transparent market because the sellers put their homes up for sale, publicly advertise them, and the buyers are free to shop those homes and make offers on the homes that they feel are good value. So in general, homes sell for fair market value. But the surprising thing is, every day when I open up the MLS system, I see properties that sold below what we would consider to be the fair market value, meaning the buyer got that home for a deal and the seller potentially left some money on the table. And we also see the opposite, where a home has sold above what its actual market value is, meaning the buyer overpaid slightly for that property and the seller walked away with some additional profit. And this happens because the real estate market is not a commodity. Every home is unique. Plus there's layers of competition, different comparables. We've got buyers competing against each other, and you've got every home has a unique mix of what it is and how well it's marketed. Now, the average homeowner only goes through this buying and selling process once every 5 to 10 years. So it's very hard to become an expert at doing it really well yourself. In contrast, my team and I sell multiple properties every single week, and we pride ourselves on developing winning strategies to get the best results for our clients possible. So I want to bring all that knowledge to you in this video, so on your next transaction, you can put some of these principles to work and you can see those extra profits. The first and most important thing to understand about this whole process is that to generate the highest sale price for your home, we need to have multiple people interested in it at the exact same time. This is the key concept, because when multiple buyers are interested in your property at the same time, it changes from being a negotiation between buyer and seller where there's a bit of give and take to a competition between those multiple buyers to present you, the seller, the highest and best offer, so they choose that buyer as the winner. Now, the stakes of this game are pretty high. For most people, the sale of their residential home is one of the largest financial transactions they'll ever make. So even shifting that sale price by just 1% can mean tens of thousands of dollars extra in your pocket. So in an ideal scenario, you've got multiple buyers that want your home and they're competing against each other to give you the best price, the moving date you want, and the least number of conditions on that offer. When this all comes together, you, the seller, win and walk away very happy knowing you got the maximum price and you got the deal done on your terms. So everything else we're going to talk about in the video from this point on is specifically designed to generate multiple offers on your home at the same time, so you walk away with the highest price possible. So grab your pen, grab a notebook, and get ready, because this is loaded with information. So there are 5 key steps in generating multiple offers on your home, and this playbook works consistently time and time again. Let's talk about them. We've got market research, home preparation, picking the perfect asking price, a massive marketing effort, and then timing the offer and negotiation plan on your home. When these 5 things come together, we have a perfect plan, and we're going to go into them in detail. Now remember, each of these things is important individually, but bringing all 5 of them together in a plan is the key to success. Now I want to pause here for just a second to say that running a playbook like this on your property can be done by yourself, but it's going to be much easier with someone like me advising you and walking you through how to actually take these principles and apply them to your unique property. So if you're thinking about moving this year, all you need to do is reach out to me early and have a quick conversation about your plans, and then we follow that up with a visit to the home where we actually can lay out how these 5 steps would actually work when it comes down to your exact home in your exact market. Okay, the first step in creating a bidding war on your property is to do our homework, aka our market research. And you know from my videos, I love doing research on properties. It is very important to understand what the market is going to be like when we put your home on the market so that we don't have any surprises and we can plan our strategy for those market conditions. When it's a hot seller's market, there are many more buyers than there are homes available. And so the homes tend to sell quickly for top price anyways. But we can actually capitalize this and drive an even hotter bidding war. On the flip side, a buyer's market is when there's lots of homes for sale and relatively few buyers. This is more difficult to naturally get a bidding war going, but if you know this going into it, you can actually still position your home to be the clear winner that buyers want to bid on, even while your neighbors are not getting any offers. To analyze the market, the first thing we want to do is look at it from a very high level. So we're going to look at the overall city and down into your neighborhood area. And we want to look at things like the total number of homes for sale, the number of homes that have sold in the past 30 days, and the quality of the offers and how quickly they came. Looking at this from a kind of, we'll call it a 30,000 foot view, gives us a good sense of whether we're entering into a balanced market or potentially a buyer's market or a seller's market. And knowing this is our first step to success. Now next, we want to get out of the clouds and come down here to ground level, and we want to look at the individual homes that we're going to be competing against, both the ones that are currently on the market right now and the ones that have most recently sold. And in this exercise, we want to look at the homes that are most similar to yours to get the best sense of what we can expect. We want to look at each property as a unique and individual case study and try to look at what that seller did with their real estate agent as a strategy and whether or not it worked. We can really separate these different properties into piles of people who've got winning strategies and people who've got losing strategies. And obviously we want to follow the path of the winners. Ideally, we want to see a high demand for homes like yours and a low amount of other homes for sale just like it, so that your home stands out. And we also want to see that recent sales have happened at strong prices and very quickly. These are the best conditions if we want to pull off the rest of the plan, but I have to say again, just because the market isn't necessarily favoring you heading into putting your home up for sale doesn't mean we can't make this plan work. It just means we have to work a little bit harder at the next 4 steps. Step number 2 is to prepare the home for its ideal buyer. And now we need to step back and actually ask ourselves, who is the ideal buyer for this property? There is no one-size-fits-all strategy for this plan because each home appeals to a different type of buyer. You could have properties that appeal to people wanting a large estate lifestyle, all the way down to first-time home buyers moving into a condo. And over on the other side, you've got renovators and professional investors looking for a profitable project. So we need to be able to zoom out from living in the home and realize who is our most high-value buyer, who is the type of buyer that would be willing to pay the most for this property. And once we have that in our mind, I call that our avatar of who our buyer is going to be, then we can start to look at how do we prepare the home so it's going to appeal to that specific highest value buyer when they come and see it on the market. Now, here's a couple examples of this. Most first-time home buyers, they want a home that they can move in and not have a lot of expenses right out of the gate, because buying your first home is a very expensive process. A lot of your money is going to get tied up in your down payment and your closing costs, and you're probably going to move into that home with an empty bank account. So for this type of ideal buyer, we're going to prepare the home in a way that it looks like and feels like they don't need to spend any extra money. They can just move in, have their housewarming party, and slowly make changes and improvements at a lower cost over time. On the other side of the spectrum, perhaps we're trying to sell this property to a renovator or an investor. And for this type of buyer, we want to show them that, the bones of the house, the lot, the potential upside in the neighborhood as best as possible. But that could mean emptying the home completely, not staging it, not decorating it so the home feels bigger and they can see wall to wall what kind of work they're going to need to do. As you can see, this isn't a one-size-fits-all process, but the idea is once we've identified who our ideal buyer is, we want to get inside their mind, put ourselves in their position and think about, how do I present the home and prepare it in a way that gives them the confidence to make a strong offer with the fewest conditions possible. Now, for any home, one of the key steps here is going to be to identify what the most important or most desirable features that make this home unique and make it worth a little bit more than its neighbors. This may be the beautiful lot, or maybe the brickwork on the outside, maybe it's the primary suite. Every home has some unique feature that makes it stand out, and this is where we want to focus our marketing in just a couple steps. But before we get there, we want to talk about step number 3. This is probably the most important one and the one where a lot of home sellers make the biggest mistake. So listen up. To generate multiple bids on your home, we need to take it to market with the perfect asking price. It's very important to think about your asking price as a marketing price, not somewhere that the final sale price is going to be or a place to start negotiations. This is where a lot of sellers make a big mistake. Most sellers price their home a little bit too high, knowing that they're going to have to go back and forth. But remember, if we're successfully generating multiple bids, we're actually going to have multiple buyers competing against each other to make you an offer. It's not going to be a situation where you just have one buyer trying to knock you down from your asking price. So this means getting a little bit out of your comfort zone and visibly underpricing the property. This way, when it's marketed online in the next step, we're going to be able to stand out. People are going to look at it and go, wow, I've really got to check out this property. It looks like an incredible deal. Now, another little part of this I like to mention to people when we're discussing asking prices is some people get uncomfortable that if we're putting a lower price or potentially even a price lower than we really want to sell it for, they're worried that they might get even lower offers or someone might come in and they're forced to sell the home at that price. And that's not the case at all. As the home seller, you're always in control of the process. And so if somebody makes you a low offer, you can simply just reject it and keep going. And there is no obligation to sell a home at the asking price. Even if someone gives you full asking price, you could reject that offer if your expectations were to be above the asking price. When we pick the wrong asking price, you can tell right away because there is very little interest in the home, both online and in person. I'm going to make a whole nother video about what to do if you pick the wrong asking price, but for this video, we're talking about picking the right asking price. And when we do it right, the opposite happens. You're going to get a ton of interest, probably more viewings than you even want. My phone as the agent's going to be ringing off the hook because online and then in person, people are seeing this as the deal of the week, better than anything else they've seen on the market. What this does is it creates a sense of urgency in the buyers. They get the sense that if I don't act on this property and make an offer right now, somebody else will. And that sense of urgency is what gets multiple people to act all at the same time. Very important part of this whole process. Okay, now we understand analyzing the market. We understand identifying our key buyer and preparing the home for them. And we also understand how to pick the perfect asking price. And now here's where the plan really starts to come together. Now in 2024 and beyond, information moves at the speed of light. So when you put your home up for sale, it is instantly distributed across all these different apps and marketing websites. Buyers get pinged instantly if they have search alerts set up and they're looking to come out as quick as possible to jump on a deal before anybody else knows about it. I've been in this business 15 years and it has changed so much. It used to be quite a relaxed process to put a home on the market and slowly interest would build. Now you get your maximum interest in those first few days. And the reason is because right now there's an active pool of buyers searching for homes. They're out there actively looking at what's available. They're not offering on it. They're waiting for the next hot listing to come up. And when it does, they jump on it very quickly. So you get this rush of buyers all interested in your property the very first week it's on the market. And this is our best chance to actually capitalize on this and sell it to one of these buyers, and hopefully multiple of these buyers bid on it. Now what happens is if we get it wrong the first week on the market, you get this little rush of activity, but then it quickly calms down because now that everybody who's in the market has already considered your home, we're left waiting for new buyers to enter the market. Either they just got pre-approved, maybe they just decided to move to your city, or potentially they just sold their house. This is a much slower process of just a handful of new buyers on a weekly basis versus that initial rush. So it's very important to have a marketing strategy that gets all the energy on the property right away. So the goal of the marketing plan has to be a massive push to get the highest number of eyeballs on the property in the first 5 to 7 days on market, followed by the maximum number of people to view the property in person during that same time period. This can mean a combination of a massive online marketing push, having all the assets, photography, and everything ready to go on day one, ads and posts and boosts on all the social media networks, and potentially a huge push to have public and private viewings that very first weekend. One of my little bonus tips here that I work with my own clients is that we like to list a home during the middle of the week. This way it hits everyone's emails and it gives people a chance to find the property online, and then we want them all booking viewings for that first weekend, that first Saturday, Sunday on the market. Okay, the very last step in this whole thing is to have a solid plan in place around the timing of offers and how you're going to handle negotiations. We want to discuss this all ahead of time so we understand the rules and can communicate those rules to the buyers. Now, this is a very complicated topic and specific rules must be followed, and those rules are going to be different whether you're in Ontario or another province or somewhere in the States. So we're going to talk about this from a pretty high level, but know when we talk about your specific situation, we're going to make sure that it goes the way you want it to and we follow all the rules and regulations. That way everybody's happy and everybody feels like they were treated fairly. It's important for you to know that as the seller, you're in control of deciding how the offer process goes down, and you can decide whether you want your home to be available for offers at any time or you want to make people wait for a specific date and time before they can submit offers. Starting just in January this year here in Ontario, you can also decide if you want to keep all the offer contents private, which is the way it's always been, or you're able to now actually have an open offer process where each party would know what the other people offer. Now, it's still up for debate which of these is going to do best for you, so it's important to slow down and talk all this through and figure out what the best plan is to maximize your sale price. The one basic strategy that's used under this scenario is we do not allow any offers until a specific amount of time on the market. And the reason is that if we've done everything right, we've prepared the home properly, we understand the market, we've picked the proper marketing price, and we've done a huge marketing launch, we want that huge exposure to the market. What we wouldn't want is someone to just run in the first day and say even offer you full price and you take it even though in 2 days from now your multiple buyers would have showed up. So this very common strategy with this big marketing push is to not allow any offers for the first, say, 5 to 7 days on the market, and then have a very clear date and time when anyone who is interested in your property needs to submit their offer in to have it considered. Now, this is just one approach, and again, it might not be the right one for you, so we're going to talk specifically about your situation, but this is the one we see most commonly when people are attempting this strategy. In this situation, to keep it fair, we usually have all the offers submitted digitally, so we have a nice copy of them, and then once we see how many total offers there are, we actually pause for a moment and contact everybody who's made an offer to let them know exactly what the playing field looks like and give them a final chance to improve. Imagine you were the first or second person to make an offer, and then you find out there's actually 12 people making offers. You might decide to improve your offer now that you know there's 12 people competing against and not just 2. Now, the last step is actually to look through all these offers and see which one works best for you as the seller. And if there's any final little tweaks, we can take care of those verbally and get a counter offer done and get that finally signed up so you're walking away with the one you are most happy with. Now, I will say, doing all this work and following all these steps is a lot more upfront work than simply snapping some pictures of your home, throwing it online at whatever price you kind of guess at, and just seeing what happens. But we like to do all this work in advance so that we maximize our chance of success in getting you the highest price. We want to take our home to market the right way the first time, because once we try it once, you know, that history and that record and that excitement on the market, it's only going to happen once. And if we have to correct action, we've got to change the price, you have to take your home down and put it back on the market, you're never going to get back the energy you had during that first initial launch. So one thing I always try to remember is a little acronym, do it right the first time. You can think of it as DIRTFOOT, do it right the first time. And this actually comes back from an old factory job I had way back when I was young. And it was so much money to fix mistakes that they just wanted everyone to slow down and do their job right the first time. And this is a huge piece of advice I give to my clients who are selling their home, is we want to follow a plan, we want to have a clear strategy, we do not want to just rush our home to market and see what happens. If you follow the steps I laid out here and put a good strategy together, you can guarantee you are maximizing the potential sale price of your home and generating the most interest possible. And then we have to let the buyers take over and make you solid offers. Now, if you are thinking about selling your home and you've made it all the way through this video, incredible. I would love the opportunity to sit down with you and walk you through this plan personally and exactly how we apply it to your property and make it a winning transaction for you. All you need to do is reach out to me directly. All my information is right below in the video description, and I love hearing from you. Thanks a lot for making it all the way to the end of this video. I hope you found this content useful. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel so my next video comes up right on your home feed. I appreciate you being here, and YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video next.